Hi, Sandites. This is Sherry Durkee with another version of Sandite Chat. We are live at Charles Page High School today with two of our senior students. I have Eli and Landon here. I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute. And our brilliant teacher for Biomed, Mr. Matt Watkins. So say hi to everybody. It's
Hello,
embarrassing.
I'm Eli Bise.
I'm Landon Anderson.
Hi, I'm Matthew Watkins.
So, Sandites, we're here today to talk about one of three what we call Project Lead the Way programs here at Charles Page High School. We started Biomed with, I think, Mr.
Project
Watkins.
Lead the Way, the tick on the wall, 2016.
2016, so way before there was a freshman academy. We were holding classes in the old Central Ninth Grade Center on the second floor in the science lab back in the day, but started it as a way to prepare kids for a career pathway potentially in the field of biomed. And so that's really kind of the 30,000th view. These are pretty crafty. Mr. Watkins is kind of a clown. I don't know if you can zoom in, Lisa, don't even try, but behind me is a window of like storage stuff, and there's the body. And I totally thought it was a body, like a real body. It's not. It's a fake body. That goes along with one of the first projects you do for freshmen. Am I correct about that? Yes. So I'm going to try not to talk a ton. I'm going to let Mr. Watkins really kind of tell about what is it that you do, how long does the program last, what do we hope for with kids? Just kind of expand on that.
Okay, so when I kind of got some notes, I might look down them a little bit. So there's a lot to cover with 4 years, especially when you kind of hear what these guys do. So Project Lead the Way Biomed is in the Project Lead the Way program, as you kind of talked about. There is engineering and there's also computers, which are on either side. So the biomedical one focuses more on what we call the biomedical field. Any of the guys that want to be in the healthcare or any of those style things. But there is a wide range of what we call healthcare. And so the way that the Biomed program usually works is it starts out as a 4-year program. We have freshmen and sophomores. The freshmen do something called Project Lead the Way, which is in the back. That's our Anna Garcia, or they follow a fictitious person and they go through a lot of case studies where they learn how to do project-based learning. It's a lot of inquiry-based stuff, especially that first year. Right. The first year is a big year of what we kind of call drinking the Kool-Aid out of the Project Lead the Way idea of getting up with all the ideas that we talk about. And it's kind of a different style that you really have to kind of jump both feet into. And it probably takes that first semester, freshman year, after we do Anna Garcia, before we are all kind of on the same term and we start talking in that Project Lead the Way term.
So stop there for a minute, but hang on to that thought, because we also have Project Lead the Way curriculum at the middle school.
The middle school, yes.
And so did you guys take any kind of Project Lead the Way, STEM?
Not in middle school.
Not middle school. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to articulate what those programs are.
So those programs are, a lot of those are the introduction to them. They do some of the similar things, and they want to give them a chance to, their 7th or 8th grade year, dip their toe into one of these fields to see if they want to do them, because some of them are a 4-year program. Right. And they can seem a little bit intimidating to become a doctor. Because that's what a lot of people, if they're doing the biomed, they think that it means you want to be a doctor. And that is not what it means. It means kind of like you said, that you're engaged in something and you want to learn more about it. That's kind of our key. And so sometimes I think in the 7th and 8th grade, those programs really introduce them to a lot of the concepts. Right. So we say take as many as your schedule allows and see which one you like. That way when you come to us, you're committed.
Now, this counts for a science course.
So it counts as a science course, but also it counts as an elective. And so it's kind of interesting. The first year, it doesn't have a lab-based credit because that's what distinguishes between science and electives. So that first year can count as your science, but then your other 3 can count as your elective, and it's a weighted class. So it helps you work towards that honor graduate requirement, which both you guys honor grads. Both
They're also soccer players, right? Yep. And are you like in the middle of the season now? How's it going?
It's going all right.
Okay. It's not about soccer today, but I was just curious. Interesting you have on the gear. So cool.
And to call them in. So that freshman year is PBS, Principles of Biomedical Science. Okay. And then the sophomore year, they'll do something called Human Body Systems. Okay. Human Body Systems is probably my biggest class. It's where all these mannequins and the neurons come from. Lots of hands-on projects.
Microphone.
So our microphone that we use today is an extra arm that we had fall off a mannequin from screws. We go through a lot of mechanical stuff we're building, which is kind of nice to be next to Mrs. Sprague because she can definitely help us if we need any engineering problems. Right. So that second year in HBS, they do a lot of the anatomy. They kind of go through and learn how to do a lot of the lab-based stuff. But a big part of what they're doing is project-based skills, where they're working in groups, they're working in projects, they're working on how to communicate, which is a big part of like kind of what we do, how we set this whole thing up. There's a lot of communication that goes on. And a lot of times they find that the real problems happen when the communication stops.
Okay.
And you're not able to figure out how to like move forward without the teacher kind of coming in to help. And that's really a big part of HBS is really learning how to work in groups, but also going through and doing the application of adding on the mannequins, like the actual parts. And so they kind of get that 3-dimensional tactile stuff, which we really help instead of just those pedagogies of making it easy, basic root knowledge. They have to memorize it, but then also apply it, which is the big part, which is kind of when the hook comes in.
Sure.
That second year of the HBS, you really kind of decide if the healthcare is where you want. In fact, a lot of those kids, if you'll talk to them, they can probably like pinpoint the career that they want by the name. They're not just wanting to be a doctor. They want to be, an entomologist, or they want to get it down to a pulmonary doctor. They kind of have those big ideas because now they want to be a doctor and they passed the first level of that acceptance. And now they're kind of joining the cohort, kind of where you see the couches and the stuff in the room. We have places to hang out because you have to have a cohort. You have to have a group.
Is there somewhere parents can get that information online? I know we have a course guide.
So there's a course guide that's online that you can get on, and you'll be able to find that. It kind of goes over all that. And then usually, I think we've already done it for the spring semester. We have a parent night where you guys can come up and we do a whole walkthrough. And we really try to expose the kids to the stuff where they see it and they want to come. One of the things that I have, and I won't break it out for the interview process, is that I have a jar of cats, which came from Mr. Frorip. If you remember Mr. Frorip was in a room for a long time. He did a dissection every year where he had cats in a jar.
Right.
And some people that see that cat in the jar, they don't want to learn anything more about it, and they have to kind of run away. But certain people see those cats, kind of like some of these guys, and they're curious. They're curious in the right way. And I explain it the same way as people that see a fire. Most of us want to run away from it. But there are a few people that run towards it, and those are firemen, and that's their calling. And so some of us, for that, it's that calling. And that second year when they start getting into some of this stuff is where they really find and peel back those layers of like, the cats kind of weird me out, but I want to know more, and I'm comfortable learning more. Right. And so we do that the second year. By the time I get them as juniors and seniors, the MI and the BI really moves more to getting them able to almost do what we'd call Frank Cooper, where you can get out in the hallways and tell people all that you're doing and explain how you're doing the stuff.
Right.
It's not just good to do it, but you now have to be comfortable talking to people about it and reaching out and emailing adults and setting up what they're going to kind of talk about is one of their big capstone projects where they're using the soccer team to help them kind of go through and do some stuff for the community. See, that's, we always are trying to figure out these interconnected disciplines that we can reach through. And so that senior year then accumulates with a capstone project. And the capstone project can be a wide variety of stuff. Since the whole area of the 3 years leads up to an area, second year, they might have fallen in love with pulmonary doctors. The third year, they might fall in love with epidemiology. The fourth year, they might all of a sudden change their idea and want to become a lawyer. Right? But whatever it is, they're kind of stuck in that program, so we can use the capstone to help them show what they've learned through this whole inquiry-based, skill-oriented presentation style learning. So,
you know what I think makes the program brilliant? You find a teacher that's passionate about what they do and that can bring up some personality into it and a lot of energy. And so that's what you use. Thank you.
For me, it's easy for them. They can tell you that I'm a facilitator, which means I walk around the facility a lot. I get out of their way.
You have to know stuff as much.
I've got to know how to get stuff and assign them things. And in the background, you'll see we have a lot of scheduling stuff.
Sure.
We write a lot of schedules on the board, a lot of going through and figuring that out and emailing and just a lot of what. It's not adulting, but it kind of is that next step of adulting.
Do you remember how many kids your first class had, your students? How many students you have?
There's a picture over there in the first group that graduated. My first graduating went through 4 years. Was four kids. And believe it or not, that first graduating class also had a brother of one of our kids here today. And so we've had siblings.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was funny because when we first started it, I really kind of, I was worried a little bit about it. You start a program and you don't get a lot of interest at first.
Right.
But then you grow and you build it. And when people start seeing what's going on, I mean, I'm getting ready to ask you why. So I'm giving you a little hint of what's coming up next. But you get interested in it, all of a sudden your program grows, which has been pretty brilliant. And this space was built for this class.
Yeah, that was one of the when you came and kind of was able to let me know and plan some of the sinks and the desk out, and the fact that everything's on wheels. And we kind of talked about this, where the environment needs to reflect what you're trying to get out of it.
Right.
And in the healthcare, sometimes you can be in a lab room. Sometimes you
Right.
can be in the break room talking about things and
Exactly.
working on figuring things out. And that's a big part of that communication and
Gotcha.
that cohort. And
Gotcha.
so the spaces,
That's
we
so
love
good.
it.
So I'm going to say, like, you got in it because your brother was?
Yep.
Is that really why?
Yeah, he
I was
the
going to give
major-
you an out. That,
major
okay.
influence on
Okay.
me choosing the biomed
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Where's your brother at now?
He graduated from TU. He got a really good scholarship there.
Sweet.
And now he's working in sales.
Okay.
Makes a good
Nice. Nice. And know a lot of stuff. Okay. Well, so not just your brother, but why is it that you're here? Why did you decide to go the bio and stay in it for 4 years?
I've always just been interested in science and the medical field. And this isn't just like a typical science class. You know, we go way more in depth into things, like actually dissecting stuff, going into stuff like that. And it's more teamwork than just individual solo like assignments, which I like a lot more.
I agree. A collaboration is the bomb. And you can do so much more when people are willing to collaborate and use their minds together, because I feel like you can go much, much further, just depending on a few people to help you out a little bit. So talk about your story. Why are you here? Why did you choose biomed?
I chose biomed because I've always been interested in the healthcare.
Okay.
And this class is a lot of interactive activities and like dissecting. Freshman year in biomed, we got to see a crime scene, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
It really drew me into this class, so it wanted me to pursue further into multiple years. And second year HBS, we got to learn about the human bodies and like bones, that stuff I never thought I'd be able to learn about. But this program has let me.
It's easier when it's tactile too, and you get to have. I started to say play with the bones, but really,
we play with
you touch them and connect them, and all of those things. And something about tactile makes it so much easier, I think, to learn. There's still some, I'm sure, medical terms that are not super easy to memorize. But well, cool. I'm very good. So you have projects. So you are year 4, so you're seniors, meaning that when we say capstone, can you explain to the audience what that means? What is a capstone?
It's just our final assignment, just to portray everything we've learned throughout this class and kind of just go over it and present it to a bunch of educators and staff.
Okay. If I sat on a capstone review committee at one point, it's been a year or two, and I remember colleagues that were also on the review committee weren't educators, they were doctors. Like I can remember Tim Ray's wife coming and sitting with her white coat on, and is it intimidating to do that?
Yeah.
How do you muster up the energy and the nerve to?
You kind of just gotta get through it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything you'd add to what a capstone is?
Yes, it's a big project that like we're very passionate about, and like maybe help the community or do more data research about something. Yes.
So yours aren't the same then?
We're doing a project together.
Okay. Okay, so you can work your capstone in groups then.
Yes.
Does anybody ever do one independently?
Yeah, I have some to do independent.
Okay.
The workload on there, you have to be pretty passionate about it, because the whole idea is that they're able to kind of get the problem, they identify the problem, they have to make sure that there's a reason for the problem to be solved, and they have to come up with a solution.
Gotcha.
The solution usually has to be data-driven as well. They can't just say, I feel good about it. They have to be able to say that I did it to this degree and accomplish my goal. For these guys, they'll talk about it. They're going to do like a trash cleanup day. Okay. There's got to be a percentage of that trash that they clean up to make an effective difference in the community. Okay. If not, we're kind of just holding, community events and doing stuff without making change. And so the big thing that we get through in that capstone is that it's got to be something that we can not just say we did, but prove through qualitative and quantitative results that we made a change and we actually fixed a problem that we said was justified in fixing. And so that's kind of the big thing. That's where they spend, and they're kind of being like, they spend a lot of research time going through and looking at trash and figuring out areas, what kind of impact it makes. And that's where each group kind of focuses on something that's interesting, different. And I think their real passion at the beginning was their soccer team. They wanted to do something with the soccer team. So take us through it. Like, what is it about? What did you do? How did you build it?
So we were just thinking, what could we do that we can involve the whole soccer team in and go through that? And we came across the idea of a community trash pickup day through the soccer team. So we're basically just going to host a day at the Case Community Park, and we're going to get a bunch of people involved, the soccer team, and we're all just going to pick up trash. And it's going to be good.
Okay, so tell me how that relates to biomed. How does that relate?
It's through pollution, just trying to stop the ever-growing problem of pollution, and
which has health factors for people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, litter can contaminate water, soil, and air, may spread around bacteria and other harmful substances.
Okay.
So it's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So data you had to collect, how did you go about developing your project so that you know, I guess, when the project is all said and done, you made a difference. So how did that work? What data did you collect? What did you do with it?
So the data we collected, like it was,
which they're still in the so they're in the middle of season, so they're reaching out with the coach and they're working on the date. So they're still getting on the schedule. We have, I think, April 13th or 20th is around the time they've got theirs penciled in. So they're still in that. There's a great questions for them to think about because this is exactly what
I hear you.
They're going for.
Yeah. Because it's hard to, you'll get in college too. I'm assuming they're tracking to go somewhere to college is my guess. You get in those classes and it is kind of daunting and what exactly am I trying to do? Yes. So there's no shame in trying to figure it out. It is March, so you have 2 full months to get past where you're going to be. So tell me more about it then. You haven't collected your data yet then is what I'm understanding.
No,
okay, so what are you going to do?
How we're going to collect our data is we're going to take pictures of before, like all the trash everywhere, and then we're going to take pictures of after to show the progress that has been made in the community. And maybe like us with all the trash bags with the soccer team, so we can also promote the soccer team.
Are you going to, I would be interested to know, and I would think you'd capture questions about what could I learn about it, about this project, and maybe even the demographics of our city. Like, where do I find more trash? Like, what areas would yield a bigger? Where are those located? Is it related to the demographics in the area in terms of, who, what, when, where, what happens in these areas? If I was going to hypothesize, I would say maybe parks concentrated, but I don't know. I mean, it could be different than what I'm thinking. And that's where
when they start with that justification, when they're starting to send out emails and send a few people to say, hey, where would you suggest that we clean up? I believe you guys have worked with the Case Center because they have a program that they're going to have them fill out a date. But then the next one will be to get, like you said, these people that will let us through questionnaires know where the real problem is.
Right.
Because we might think that we want to clean up the park, but somebody that lives over by this area says the trash is right here and I need somebody to pick it up. And I think if you don't find that, that's a hard part of you plan. Like I said earlier, you plan an event, we all feel good, we go out there and take pictures, but we didn't actually meet the need. We didn't meet the verify. And that's what they're kind of spending a lot of the time going through to make sure. Because when you hear a bunch of kids get together to do trash, you're thinking, oh, they're just going to take the trash, go home and do it. But
absolutely,
it's got to be more, like you said, it's got to be based on validity of if it was needed. And if it was needed, what can we say we actually did? And that's where when they come up with the idea, I'm like, great, it's going to be a good idea. But then when they start teasing it back and working at it, this is a lot of work.
Sure. Or expressway. I mean, I drive around, to Tulsa and back and see all of it from the expressway. Is it because people throw it out their window?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
that's the next, because we have to worry about safety issues with what they might find in some of these areas.
Exactly.
We have to start talking about that.
Right. And what kind of trash you got. And so how do you pick it up and all that stuff too. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's going to be some work. And you have talked your soccer team in helping you out. How did you do that?
Well, we haven't brought it up to all of them, but we got the coach.
Coach Ragland's on board.
Okay.
As you go a lot of times, and they'll kind of tell you this is what we learn a lot of. Even emailing you, Mr. Durkee, for me, I get nervous sometimes, and I'll type it a few times, and I don't know how it's going to go, and it's just a part of that.
That makes me laugh.
And we've been worried about emailing Mr. Ragland, not that we're scared of you, but we've been worried because we know you're in season, right? Maybe. So I've been asking them probably for almost 3 weeks before spring break to send an email. Finally, yesterday, I was like, all right, we've got to send an email to Mr. Ragland and make sure he's up to date. Right. And you sent an email, and how fast did he respond?
He responded within the next period.
And was he mad, or was it pretty easy?
He just said, yes, we can make that work. It was like a simple answer. It kind of threw me off.
Did it take away a lot of your pressure?
Yes, it did.
And that's kind of what I wanted to realize is that you said earlier, people will help when you reach out.
They will.
You go through it and in the right way. A good email does really good things, but a bad email can also do bad things. And so we all know that weight of responsibility.
Right.
But you'll find, like he kind of did and they did, once you send the right email and they're hearing things, people want to get involved in these things.
Right, exactly.
And they want to put their name on you guys because what you're doing is going to be awesome, and Mr. Ragland's going to love it. It's going to be a win-win. So I love that you're reaching out to the community because I don't know if you're aware, but the city has a
I think they still have the program where student groups can reach out and community service, not just trash pickup, but other things.
We have an email response, and I think were they a little confused, or you can tell her?
Yes. So I emailed I think Parks and Director Board.
Okay, right.
Yes, and they reached out to me and gave me a link for a cleanup for a cause.
Right,
so,
which is, yes.
Yes, that's the.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So me and him are going to fill out the link, and it's going to give us we're going to put in a date that we prefer.
Okay.
But if they can't do the date, they will give us another date.
I have an idea, but we'll talk later. Like, I've got connections. Like, you could totally email some people at the city and might be able to get some responses. Okay. Right. They're a little bit different, because I was just thinking pollution and trash is everywhere. It could be everywhere. So it could be in water. It could be on land. It could be, I wouldn't limit. So let's get you connected to somebody that might be able to like support and help out, and maybe even get you some data on where they see it. Like, trash pickup in the city, I'm sure those guys that go out and pick that up every day can tell you a lot of information. It's anecdotal, but you could certainly go in and try to back that up with the data that you that way. What has been the hardest part about foraging through 4 years of biomed? What have you found to be hard?
The hardest part is definitely just sticking with it. There'll be times for sure where you're just like, oh, I just don't want to do this. I have all this other work piling up. But if you just push through, then it's really fun class. Right. So when you get to the fun stuff, it's worth it. Right. Yeah.
How about you? What did you find was so hard?
So nothing comes easy in life. I always believe that.
That's true.
So it's like something that I always just got to work at. I'm not going to be good at everything. Right. And I know that. Right. So I'm not expecting it just to be such an easy class that I can get through. And I like a challenge. So I like that this class challenges me. Right. So I stick with it.
Wow.
Yes.
I was just thinking through the effort to make sure we provide what others need to, what all students need. And so we try not to negate anything that someone might be interested in order to develop programs. We need to be, doing what people want. So it's interesting. So what do you suspect? Is this going to help you outside when you walk across the stage at Charles Page High School? Is this going to be an effective thing to put in your resume, effective thing to have in your background? How's it going to help you moving forward?
For sure. I think it's a really good thing to have in your resumes, applications, just everything, because it just shows commitment. Right. It shows that you committed to this 4-year course, you got through it, finished it. So, I think it would be very good to include in resumes.
How about you?
Yes, it shows leadership, and I bet everybody loves to see leadership.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So where is the next step for you guys? Because it's not that long. Graduation is May the 16th. It's like really quick. It's going to come at you real fast. So what is the next step for you guys?
So for me, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to go into the medical field. But this class has definitely helped me out with figuring it out and narrowing it down.
Sure.
I'm also very interested in joining the medical field, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do right now, if I'm being honest. I've applied to many colleges. I'm also looking to go somewhere for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm going to probably prioritize that, but I will prioritize.
I think that there is some skill sets that you don't even know you learned through the project-based process. And some of it's just that art of working together, leaning on other people, and then listening to your classmates, I call them colleagues, about ideas they might have that could be better than what I'm thinking about. You know what I mean? I think getting through life in general, but specifically if you're heading to college, that's a big part of it. Like, and getting over the fear factor of, oh my gosh, this looks daunting, but I did it. It's an achievement. So y'all are guys, but I also see girls in the program too. So talk to me about the ratio, maybe.
Well, so that's kind of where, a lot of times you see that a lot more women are needed in science. And these guys can tell you that probably they're the few guys that are in it.
Really?
The majority of our people are females.
Okay.
So we have a very high amount of females that are in the program. But I've always said it's not more women in science. Women just needed to get more credit in science for a long time. They've always been there and the credit's there.
Right.
And so, we have a high part of in the lower group. I think I've got a student over there that's on the dance team that's taking a test in the background right now, and I'm pretty sure that there's 3 or 4 other dance teams and cheer teams on there as well too. So they're equally represented in those younger years coming up, and so it's a big part of it as well. I kind of just chose to highlight these guys being the soccer team part of that part too, and kind of to get the.
You're a soccer guy too, right?
I was for a little bit, yeah. Coach girls soccer, now I'm coaching track again. I've done a little bit of everything. Anything that they need me here, Sand Springs, I'll end up doing at some point. So. I hear you. So it is a field for. I've come into the classrooms and see girls practicing taking blood. Phlebotomy. I was going to say.
Oh my gosh! So many skill sets that you don't think about doing, but they're doing it.
Right.
And it kind of makes my stomach turn. I'm not going to lie, but it is. There are a lot of females, which I love.
There's a pretty good mix, and usually, kind of, if they were saying, it's like it's that certain student that kind of, I don't know, that gets that sand in their craw, as we talk about, right?
Exactly.
It gets that little bit of grit that they're like, I like that you said that you stuck with it. It's the idea that I reached through it, and because next year you're going to have a 4-year university that you got to stick with. And you're definitely going to feel that, like, I'm exhausted and I don't know what to do. Reach out on the people and the stuff that you do. And that's why that class makes it important for them to learn that.
I have 3 grown-up kids. By the way, parents, when they grow up, there is life after high school for moms and dads, and it's not so bad. But there were some elements going through a program in college where they just felt like they were in over their head. And having the stamina to work through it was so important. So don't give up on your soccer dream. I mean, if you are, ready and work hard, you just got to go for it. So that's fantastic. Does Coach Ragland coach you guys too?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. He's boys soccer, right?
I remember your son's journal. I probably still have it when he worked from when Cold Turkey, as we always called him, Cold Turkey came in. And he had some of the best handwriting and penmanship in that journal. I can remember watching him work on it and do it. And that was a perseverance year, because I'm sure he can tell you that journal.
It's hard.
The first year as a teacher, for me, I had something to grade him on, which was something you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to let him, but I had something I could hold on to, and I made him work that journal really hard. I feel kind of bad, Cole. Sorry if you're out there.
He probably is not. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't think he hangs on. I should send it to him now that you mentioned his name. That's funny. No, he's all grown up. They're all very successful, and it's fun to watch. What's fun to watch is seeing kids that make a choice to come to a program that they know is going to be difficult and challenging, whether it's engineering, computer science, biomed. We got on a just very big determinative effort to make all of them 4 years, because there is a capstone involved, and even some testing that can occur when it's all said and done, and promoting people in a way that aids their life after high school is so incredibly important.
And for some, like, these guys have the experience of being on that cohort of the soccer team.
Yeah,
and I had the cohort coaching it, but now we have that biomed cohort.
Right.
You've got a spot where you feel like your people are, and you can know that, you can sit and relax on the couches. You can have something to ready to do the next hard thing. And sometimes we have to, do that battery of restoring it so we can keep going and doing all those hard things. Because if not, they got 7 other classes, I'm sure, that might be just as hard as this one.
Absolutely. So last thing, I promise I maybe a little bit on the spot. You kind of were influenced by your brother.
Yes.
We have a whole group of 8th graders right now that are going to be incoming freshmen for next year. What advice would you give them? And you can't have the same advice.
I would just say be confident. You got to be able to know what you're capable of and what you're capable of accomplishing. And this is one of those courses. It's like you're going into it. It's a 4-year course, and you just got to stick through it. It's a really fun course, really good course. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you?
Don't rush into it. I know it can feel like very pressured to like do a lot of stuff in high school, but you have 4 years. You got time. It goes a lot quicker than you think, though. So just be warned for that. Be ready for anything. If you want to do something, just do it. Take charge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to know, like you just said, one of you said it, if you don't like it, there's other options. too.
Yes.
And so we always try to make sure we encourage people.
So many options now.
I've had parents say, so if they start here, are they stuck in it?
Yeah.
Like, no. This is a place to get your feet wet. So anyway, well, you guys are amazing. Hope you weren't too nervous. You did fantastic. Okay, last words, Eli, Landon, anything else you want to say?
Thank you.
Thank
Come support
you.
Sandite Soccer tonight.
Thank you,
yeah.
Sandites. Oh, soccer's playing
They
tonight?
play tonight, yeah.
Play
They got-
Sepulpa tonight.
Oh,
Sepulpa.
go
At Sepulpa,
Sandites.
so.
At Sepulpa. You know Mr. Ragland used to teach at Sepulpa.
I do.
Did you
Do you
really?
know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
the
give him a
coach.
little bit of, guff about that.
I'm a Garfield Mustang graduate.
There you
so I
go.
can't get too
There you
bad.
go. Sandites, thank you for joining us. It's always fun to highlight some students that are amazing. These two are flat amazing. And we'll see you next time.